It's a process that must make old-time high-in-the-saddle cowboys sit back and scratch their heads. Wild horses, herded by helicopter, to the end of a deep ravine where they move ahead, not knowing that a life on the range is about to end. These horses, 150 of them total, are being rounded up by the Bureau of Land Management south of Challis, Idaho. It's mountain country here, country that conjures up pictures of cowboys and range wars, and rugged individuals that all make for an image of both the old and the new West. And the debate over rounding up these horses is being waged every bit as seriously as any Old West range war. The Bureau of Land Management has been fought every step of the way in this roundup process by horse protection groups and by the Humane Society of the United States. One of these roundups near Howe, Idaho in 1973 ended in the bloody slaughter of many horses. And every roundup since the Howe Massacre, as it's called, has been contested in the courts and watched carefully in practice. But now even some of the vocal critics admit that the BLM has improved its roundup procedures, and this roundup has gone smoothly.
Well, we've gone to great lengths on setting up this corral here and the wings and everything, and the helicopter pilot's well experienced, and just a combination of things is, it's coming out fine.
Very successful. Everything's went real smooth. You couldn't ask for it to run any better than it has. The colts has come in fine condition. None of the horses were real tired. Everything's worked perfect.
Why does it work so well?
Because there's about 20 men besides myself that planned out these here corrals and how to do it, and the men that is working the horses inside the corrals and the pilot, they're all experts at their job, and it's really proven out to be a real good roundup.
What could happen to these horses? What's the danger of an operation like this?
Well, a horse could fall down and bump its leg. A horse could run together and break a shoulder or run over a colt and injure it real badly.
But the condition of the horses that you've seen so far today is pretty good.
Perfect condition. You couldn't ask for them better. They're just like they've been run out of a country pasture and into these corrals.
Once the horses are corralled, they're examined for brands. Branded horses can be reclaimed by their owners for a price. A veterinarian then checks the horses for disease, and under the provisions of the court order that allowed this roundup to take place, the horses are aged with a mix of 1, 2, 3, and 4-year-olds kept for the Bureau's Adopt a Horse program.
Is there any danger to the horses when they're being driven by a helicopter?
No, not if you have an experienced pilot. The pilot is the key to the whole thing. If he understands horses, and you've probably seen him come in there, if he understands horses and lets them kind of take their time and gather up like mares and foals and so on, I would say there's no danger to them. Not near as much as there is driving them with horses. In the first place, the helicopter can get around them and hit them away from a bad place. So much better than horses.
The Bureau's adopting program has worked fairly well, although it has had some problems. And critics of the way the federal government manages these wild horses are not at all convinced that the basic approach to this management is even right. The BLM says Western rangeland can support only so much animal life, and that strict management is needed to balance horses and elk and deer and antelope, and of course cattle that depend on this public land for grazing. It appears that the Bureau of Land Management has pleased at least some of its critics with the handling of this latest Idaho wild horse roundup. But it also seems that the ongoing debate in the West over public land management policy is far from ending, and the West's wild horse herds are very much at the center of any debate over public land policy. Mark Johnson reporting from near Challis, Idaho.